My middle name is Joy. For as long as I can remember, I have loved my middle name. Growing up with the name Carrie Fisher, the nickname Princess Leia was automatic and seemed to follow me everywhere that I went. I'm sure to date myself by saying this, but when I used to have a listed number in the phone book, does anybody still use those? I would receive answering machine messages, does anybody still have one of those? From strangers requesting autographed 8x10 glossy photos. As if the Carrie Fisher would be that easy to reach. So needless to say, having the joy to break up things in my name felt special, and it made me unique. When I was a kid, people would ask me if Joy was short for Josephine, and I would simply answer, nope, just Joy. I remember asking my mom how she and Dad decided on my name, and telling her in my smart alecky 10-year-old tone of voice, you must have known I was going to be a happy child. It's interesting to think about those words that I spoke to my mother then, especially now that I'm a mother too. First of all, she didn't know that I was going to be happy. None of us can ever really know what lies in store for our children, as those of us here today have so painfully been made aware. We plan, we prepare, we hope, we dream, but there is no knowing. Just as there is no true understanding of how deep and rich and profound a love is born in our hearts as soon as we find out that we're pregnant. I also realize now that I misspoke when I use the words joy and happy so interchangeably. They're not the same. Happiness is a feeling. It's vulnerable to situations and to circumstances. I can assuredly tell you that 12 years ago, as my husband was racing me to the hospital with symptoms of preterm labor, I was not happy. After being examined, tested, and monitored, and receiving the news that my labor could not be stopped, and that I would be giving birth to a baby that would not survive, I was not happy. Nor did I feel happy about holding Elena's tiny little lifeless body, knowing that we were not going to get to take her home. But I can tell you without hesitation that on that day, amidst all of the confusion and the chaos, the grief and tears, my daughter was always a source of joy. The most vivid and joy-inducing memory I have after Elena's birth happened in a moment that I didn't expect. I was being wheeled back to my room from recovery, just regaining consciousness. My eyes fluttered open to the harsh hospital lights, and I was immediately aware of my situation again. I felt helpless and scared, unsure of anything that was to come. And then I heard her name. As we approached my hospital room, I could hear our family and friends talking about Elena, speaking her name as they spent the only precious moments with her that they would get to have. In that instant, I was filled with joy. I realized that Elena was my daughter, my firstborn child, and she always would be. She was a cousin, niece, and granddaughter to everyone in that room. She was a real person with a real life and a real purpose, and no one could change that truth. For all of the heartbreak I had over all that we would miss out on, there was even more joy over what we already had and the family we had already become. As I said, happiness and joy are not the same. Happiness is a feeling. Joy, on the other hand, is a state of the soul. For those whose grief is fresh, it can be difficult to imagine having joy again. You remember it from your past, but after your baby dies, it seems impossible that joy will ever be part of your future. When the concept of taking things one day at a time seems so overwhelming that it's all you can do to get through moment by moment, it doesn't seem that joy is ever really involved in the equation. But I am here to tell you that one day, when you least expect it, you'll discover that it's there. No bells or whistles or fancy wrapping paper to announce its arrival, but the gift of joy will be yours just the same. Because your babies also had real lives with real purpose. They are a source of joy, and no one can ever change that truth for you. I often tell people not to take the pain for granted either, for without it you would never know true joy. Pain breaks you down, it strengthens you and refines you, and gives you the point of reference you need to truly value what is joyful in your life. We would never ask to go through what we've been through. We will always wish that our children were here for us to see and hold and experience. But we are here now. My message here today is meant to encourage you to live with authenticity for yourselves and for your children. Give yourself permission to wonder and fear, to feel the anger, to cry the tears, to speak their names, to wish things were different. and then give Joy a little credit for not only being able to handle all of that, but to become an integrated part of it. To all of you who have helped organize this day, and to all of you who have come here to walk in honor of your children, thank you. It's a big statement, and you're here for a big purpose. So thank you for being here. It's truly an honor for me to stand with you today in recognition of the fact that family is forever. Thank you.